I would like to introduce our keynote speaker, Shippen. Shippen is a conservationist with extensive experience in the private sector, both the state and federal public sectors, and with not-for-profit and non-governmental organizations. He lends a unique perspective on economic and environmental issues. After a foray with real estate, he was led to begin examining and questioning economic development and environmental issues. What he did that was different is he realized that it wasn't the case that it was either jobs or the environment. The environment and the economy, in fact, are inexorably intertwined, and both needed to be addressed, not one over the other. He left the private sector after 8 years and went back to graduate school to study natural resource and economic development policy issues at Harvard University's John F. Kennedy School of Government. Since then, he's worked for 2 governors as Deputy Commissioner for the Maine Department of Conservation. Pursuing his passion for freshwater issues, he founded the award-winning Maine Lakes Conservancy Institute, and there his work was highlighted by his involvement with invasive aquatic species. In fact, Skip was the tip of the iceberg. He was one of the first people to see this was going to be a huge problem and want to get something rolling with it. There's nothing quite like pushing the ball uphill. And in that effort, I think Shippen has done wonders to help get people galvanized and get things going. That earned him an appointment by the Secretary of the Interior to the Federal Invasive Species Advisory Committee, and he chaired that for almost 2 years. Most recently, he was in Alaska, working to protect the freshwater resources of Bristol Bay. He's presently continuing his research on global freshwater issues, and basically, he is trying to change the world one drop at a time.
Yep. Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting me here today. I don't like using podiums, and everybody can usually hear me. I'm a little flustered because my computer, Love Technology, has decided it wants to be slow as molasses in January. So it may or may not come up, but I don't necessarily need it. Heather had asked me months ago to come speak here, and one of the things she had said to me was, we're trying to galvanize our community to do stuff, to get involved, and to make a difference. And we'd really like you to come and just talk and maybe give a little pep talk about, the land use impacts, water quality, kind of the big picture. So, there's the old saying of being globally aware but acting local but knowing global.
Think globally, act locally.
Thank you. Think globally, act locally. My brain is not working this morning. Thank you for that. And so I got involved in local issues because I live up on Pemmican Pond up in Damascotta. But that then led to a whole series of issues that has turned now to a more global passion of mine around fresh water. So what I'd like to do is start at around 10,000 feet with the globe and come down to Highland Lake. And why you all are a critical component of the much larger picture. Because there's not going to be one answer for fresh water in this world. There's not going to be one answer around taking care of our lakes. It's going to be the macro. It's going to be the collective actions of individuals like yourself. Now, Heather had said to me, says, I don't know, man. I hope we get 20 people here. Well, you've done double that. So that right there is a great sign because we all know it's a pretty nice day out there. And there are probably about 30 other things you all could be doing if you wanted to. But you've made a choice to come here and listen to some bonehead like myself, and talk to your neighbors and try to get involved. So let's talk globally. And by the way, this great party trick is on my blog. If you go to www.shipbright, SHIPBRIGHT, one word, shipbright.wordpress.com. That's my global freshwater blog. And this little neat trick, which will absolutely have you invited back to every dinner party in your community as the most fascinating dinner party guest ever. So, in the global scheme of things, if this is Earth, this is all of the Earth, you take your piece of paper, go ahead and do it if you've got an extra piece of paper here, and fold it into fours, okay? And take off about a quarter of your paper, 25%. That's the land mass of Earth. We all know that. And then the rest is water on this planet. 3/4 of the planet is water. However, 97% of all this water is salt water. Only 3%, I don't know, it's about 3%, only 3% is fresh water. Of this fresh water, 70% is tied up in Antarctica, Greenland, the Arctic, and glaciers and some deep water aquifers that are not accessible to man at this time. That leaving about 30% of this. So this now represents all of the water that's available to support all the non-marine biota on the planet. That's you, me, the animals, the plants, everything. This is it, okay? Now this is controlled by the natural hydrological cycle. And the natural hydrological cycle, globally, does not distribute water evenly. And the water's not always where it's needed, where the population centers, nor in the amount that it's needed. That's physical water scarcity. You get issues like, and it leads to conflicts. Like you can see on my post, Darfur. The root cause of the tragedy of Darfur was long-term drought. And Lake Chad in Africa has shrunk to just a minuscule part of its natural size. Much like the Aral Sea, which you've probably seen pictures of with the boats in the middle of the desert. Basically, it's just sand. So that's physical water scarcity. There's another type of water scarcity, and that's economic water scarcity. And that's when people have water, but the water doesn't get to all the people in equal amounts. And that's usually pretty much the case, especially in third world countries when there are water projects that go up, and that the dominant ethnic group or the dominant political party just delivers the water to themselves. And that creates conflicts. Conflicts that have claimed lives. And I'll give you two names. Victor Hugo Daga and Captain Tellez. These were two people, one a teenager, the other an army captain in Cochabamba, Bolivia. And there was conflict about who got water, who didn't. The teenager was shot. The army officer was injured, was in a local hospital. The local populace took him out and dismembered him. These issues are real. They happen. They're scary. Obviously, we like to try to solve the issues of Highland Lake in a little more civil manner, I think. So when you look at the global water issue, you gotta ask yourself, okay, well, what does it mean to me? What's my part in all of this? Well, your part in all of this that we can all do as citizens, and an engaged citizenry, is being involved in your local watershed and maintaining that water quality. Because, you know, as the world populates, we got 6.2 billion now on the planet, and they're expected that by 2011, I think I just saw it, that there'll be 7 billion people on this planet. 7 billion people on this planet. And also understand that as population increases, water use does not rise linearly with the population increase. It rises exponentially because water is also needed for agricultural production, industrial production, and it's usually a 2-to-1. So if the population doubles, the water use will quadruple. And over the last 100 years, the world population has tripled, and world water use has been 6 times that amount. So understand it's not a linear relation, it's an exponential relationship. Okay, so these water issues are going to be becoming more and more severe. Global strategists believe that the wars of the 21st century will be fought over water. Yes? Oh, my password.